Today's guest is one of the nation's leading sports nutritionists. She's a consultant for food and beverage companies as well as for professional sports franchises. Maria Spano and I will talk today about nutrition for kids as well as for adults. Stay tuned. Babbie's House is coming to you right now.
Every day is filled with possibility. At Babbie'S house, Babbie'S house, everybody is family. Welcome to Babbie'S house.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Babbie'S house. Thanks for joining me today. I'm your host, Babbie Mason, and this is Babbie'S house, where everybody is a member of the family. Thanks for joining me. Well, today's guest is Maria Spano, and she is one of the nation's leading nutritionists, sports nutritionists. And today we'll talk about the food we eat and nutrition, and particularly as it pertains to kids. And we'll talk a little bit about adult nutrition as well. But this will be a conversation that will be of interest to all of us, so stand by for that. Right now, I want to sing a song for you, a wonderful song that I've written a few years ago, but the truth still remains that love is the more excellent way.
I can speak with the tongues of men and angels, but if I don't have love, I'm just a clanging cymbal. I can have the faith to remove the mountains, but if I don't have love, then I am nothing. Love is patient, love is kind, love is humble all of the time. It's not easily angered, enduring the test. So never forget, love is the more excellent way. Ooh. I can have the gift of prophecy, love is the more excellent way. But if I don't have love, does it profit me? I can understand all mysteries, but if I don't have love, it's not enough, you see. Love is patient, love is kind, love is humble all of the time. It's not easily angered, enduring the test. So never, never forget, love is the more excellent way. I can throw my body into the flames, but if I don't have love, I don't have anything. I can give to the poor everything I own, but a heart without love is just a heart of stone. Oh, love is patient, love is kind, love is humble all of the time. It's not easily angered,
And welcome back to Babbie's House. Today's guest is Maria Spano, and Maria Spano is one of the nation's leading sports nutritionists, and she is passionate about helping families to eat healthy, yet prepare really good meals in a short amount of time, and helping kids to take ownership in their cooking and helping them to eat more nutritionally. So let's welcome to the show Maria Spano. Maria, I'm so happy to have you on the show, my friend.
I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you so very, very much. Now, Maria, you are a sports nutritionist. What defines a sports nutritionist, say, from a regular nutritionist? What is a nutritionist in the first place?
That's a great question. And I'm a registered dietitian, so I have to go through the education, the college degree, and a test, and also be licensed here in the state of Georgia to practice. Now, as a sports nutritionist dietitian, I work primarily with athletes, from young kids all the way up through the pros, even retired athletes. It's tons of fun and it's rewarding, and I'm passionate about starting them out early. But then I've got kids in college that they don't know how to cook, or they don't know much about nutrition, so it's great to come in and teach them how I can improve their performance, improve their career longevity, help prevent injuries possibly, and then also improve their health.
Oftentimes we don't think about the fact that food does play a huge part in longevity, in helping us to live long.
It certainly does.
Talk to me about that.
It certainly does. The number one cause of death and disability in the U.S. is heart disease. And of course, certain cancers aren't that far behind. And what we put in our body, as well as physical activity, can help influence genetic predisposition. So if you have heart disease in your family, I know I do, if you eat the right foods, if you exercise, that can influence and hopefully slow down or delay or lessen the chances of getting a type of chronic disease like heart disease.
Well, as I shop a lot for my family and go to the grocery store, I noticed that a lot of the healthier foods are like on the perimeter of the store, like the produce department or the fresh meat department,
yes,
or the fresh dairy or the fresh produce and that kind of thing. So oftentimes I think I need to be shopping in those using those parameters. But oftentimes our kids are heading for the snack boxes and the stuff that's in the microwavable stuff. So you work a lot with kids and encouraging them to eat healthier and to maybe prepare foods for themselves. So where should a kid start?
Absolutely. Well, first, parents, bring your kids grocery shopping. That's what my dad did for us. He was the grocery shopper in the family, and that way they become familiar with different foods. I'm glad you brought up the fresh part, because it's kind of a misperception. You can go for canned, frozen, and dried items as well. They often cost a lot less, and because they're picked right away and the nutrition is sealed in and they're frozen or canned, it contains the same nutrition value. So it's a way to save money. So when you have a kid in the grocery store, for instance, and you're in the canned food aisle, have them pick the vegetable. Give them some ownership, so maybe they won't be as likely to go, reach for some of those not as healthy snack items.
Well, you brought some or prepared some really cool looking food for us today. Talk about what we have here.
Great. Well, this is the ABCs of back to school nutrition, and I like to start with A, which is assemble a healthy meal in minutes. I like to start with my protein and then add fruits or vegetables and then a starch and dairy beside it, and make all-in-one meals. So here I started with overnight oatmeal. Oatmeal is very cost-effective, rich in nutrients, high in fiber, so a great option.
And this looks really good.
Oh, thank you. I love it.
We don't have a spoon here, but I'm ready to dig in.
Overnight oatmeal. I also have some Greek yogurt and milk, and then I topped it with fruit. And kids watch every single thing we do, right? And they kind of imitate us. And sometimes the smart choices are also the easy ones. So here I used frozen blueberries. They're the best of both worlds because they're good and they're good for you, right? And it's a finger food. They're high in nutrients. They've got vitamin C and fiber. And again, that freshness and flavor is locked in naturally because as a frozen food, it's picked right away and frozen.
And we eat with our eyes, and I can see how a kid would, this not only is really healthy for us, but it looks really good. It's packed with color, and fresh fruit and yogurt and oatmeal. And I don't know a kid that wouldn't dive into that.
And they can make it. Even a 3-year-old, you can help, spoon everything in the night before, and you don't have to cook it, which I like. There's no cooking in the morning. You just make it at night, and it's ready to go.
Wow, that's a cool idea. So you cook the oatmeal ahead of time.
You don't have to cook it.
You don't have to cook.
Isn't that amazing?
It's just raw oatmeal?
Raw, because the milk and the yogurt break it down, so it's
see.
super soft.
Cool.
So even small, kids, they can eat, obviously, the oatmeal.
And you can just put this in like a jar,
jar,
these
a
come in
bowl.
different sizes. Put it in the fridge, and they can get it in the morning on their own. That's really good.
Grab and go.
Well, talk to us about sources of protein. I see you've got some salmon and some other things over here.
I've got salmon there, but you know what? You can do canned fish, you can do canned chicken, and especially for somebody who's super busy, those foods you can grab quickly versus fresh. But salmon, it's got those omega-3s. We know it's good for brain health for kids of all ages. And I added some Brussels sprouts. It just took about 15 minutes to cook, so not that bad. And then this is a product, there are lots of these around, that it's just microwavable potatoes. So it's one of those things that's 3 minutes in the microwave, quick for parents to throw in there while they're busy getting their kids doing homework and stuff like that.
And this is a really healthy meal that mom could prepare in a matter of minutes.
Oh, 15 minutes, that's it.
And it's very healthy. It doesn't have a lot of sauces or things, artificial stuff that comes out of a can that you drizzle over food that adds a lot of calories or fat or carbs or that kinds of things. And you talked about foods that kids would like that's easy to prepare.
Yes.
I see you've got, is that peanut butter and jelly?
Just peanut butter and jelly. And and again, these are just some sandwich cutters that I picked up, and I thought, even the small 3-year-old, they can take and they can make their own shapes. And we know that when kids are involved in cooking or food preparation, they're more likely to try the food. So it's that food ownership. Something simple. Another good option for after school, instead of some of those sugary sports drinks, our kids are on way too many of those, or sugary juices and stuff. I bought Palm Wonderful 100% pomegranate juice. Great grab and go, 8-ounce size for sports activities, etc. And then after school, you can just make it into a fizzy drink with some sparkling water. Put in a straw,
cool.
kind of fun. You can even make ice cubes out of it. And it's a good source of potassium, important for hydration and muscle functioning. So,
and it kind of psychs a kid into thinking that they're having a soda.
Yeah, kids love juices and sodas. And we've got to get them off those.
Yeah, because they're packed with sugar.
Packed with sugar.
If you read the label, it's as many as 40 carbs a can, and that's like a whole day's worth of sugar.
Yep, and it's added sugar, which has no nutrition value. This has no added sugar. It's naturally occurring. That's what we want, the 100% fruit juice. That naturally occurring sugar means that it also has compounds in it, important for good health. The colorful compounds in fruits and vegetables, those protect our body from head to toe. So very important for health and longevity.
Talk to me about the growing statistics of kids and obesity and childhood diabetes and those things that, we didn't see when I was a kid, but now this generation of kids and our grandkids are really fighting this.
It's scary, and the top 2 things parents could do is first be a role model. Exercise, even if it's walking, rollerblading, biking, get your kids out there and get active. If you're active, you'll use up that carbohydrate, which is important for anyone who is pre-diabetic or has type 2 diabetes. And then eat a healthy diet, teach your kid, and show them by example. Sometimes it takes 10 or more times before a child will try a new food. So take Brussels sprouts. The kid might look at them and go, I don't want to try those. Keep offering it to them, and eventually they'll try it. Kids will try different foods if they see it multiple times. And then the last thing I have over here, I don't know about you, but as a kid I was always hungry in between meals, and convenience foods, I recommend kids and adults bring them, because if we don't snack, sometimes we overeat later, or if I don't snack, sometimes I'm in the grocery store and that's when I'm likely to pick up those less than healthy options. String cheese, one of my favorites, because it's that bone-building calcium, and you can keep it out for hours. It actually doesn't need to be refrigerated for about 2 to 3 hours. Granola bars, look for lower sugar. You brought that up. That's an important point. These ones have, I think, about 6 grams or less per bar. Wonderful pistachios, 100-calorie snack packs. Those are great. They've got good fat, fiber, protein, keeps the kid full and satisfied, and plus cracking open the shells are fun. For adults, research shows that if you crack something open and you leave it there, those shells, well, it tricks our mind into thinking that, oh my gosh, we've consumed a lot, we have to stop.
Yeah. Well, when we come back, we're going to talk more about nutrition as it pertains to adults and how adults can eat healthy, prepare meals that are more nutritious. So stay with us after this break. We'll talk more with Maria Spano right here on Babbie'S House. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more. Welcome back to Babbie'S House. Today's guest is Maria Spano, and she is a licensed nutritionist as well as a consultant for food and beverage companies and sports teams to help us eat better, eat properly, eat more nutritious, and as well as enjoy our food. And Maria, you have prepared another beautiful table. And you know, I'm fixing to confess something, but as a seasoned adult, I'll put it like that. We want to maintain good muscle mass, good bone health. So it's important that we incorporate certain foods in our diet. Can you help us with that?
It is. You know, once we hit around 40 years of age and older, we start to lose muscle mass as we get older. Now, that's really important because muscle burns a few more calories each day at rest. So to keep our weight down, we've got to keep our muscle on. And the other thing is, as we get into those older years, those golden years, it's important for older adults to stay functional, right? Independent living, to be able to lift their groceries, play with their grandkids.
Climb the stairs.
We need
Get
muscle.
the groceries out of the car.
We need muscle. And one of the best things you could do is make sure that you eat 3 meals a day and have a good amount of protein per meal. If you eat meat or chicken or turkey, try to have about the size of a palm or about a little over a deck of cards, a female's palm. That's about how much you need. If you choose vegetarian foods such as tofu and tempeh, choose a little bit more because they don't have as much protein. But that'll help keep muscle on. And then, of course, resistance training. Very
Wonderful.
important.
Talk to us about some of the foods you brought with you.
Well, I brought yogurt and kefir, and you know, that's one of those foods. It's got tons of good bacteria in it, and that good bacteria takes up residency, really valuable real estate in our gut. And we know from the research that having more good bacteria versus bad bacteria, it's important for immune health. 70% of our immune system's in our gut. And it also influences how much weight a person can lose on a lower calorie diet. We want that good bacteria. Also important for digestion. Yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, fresh sauerkraut's a good source. Tempeh is a good source. There aren't tons of sources of probiotics or healthy bacteria, but those are among the best ones.
And they're easy to find. It's
super easy to find. Yep. Look for the live and active culture seal when you buy your yogurt and you buy your kefir or cultured milk.
Talk to us about nuts.
Nuts, you know, nuts are fascinating because they're so high in calories for such a little bit, right? But study after study shows that when people add nuts to their diet, even if they didn't consume nuts before, they don't gain weight. And a recent review of the research found that people who added nuts, they actually have smaller waistlines than those who don't eat nuts. And you don't need much. You need just a little teeny handful per day, about a golf ball size, or you can grab a bar that contains plenty of nuts. Just make sure it's low in sugar, 5 grams or less per bar. That's always a good option. But nuts also kind of keep us full for a period of time. They've got fiber, vitamins, and minerals in them.
You know, one of the big question marks that I always have when I'm in the store is what kind of oil to buy. You know, do I need to buy canola oil or vegetable oil or coconut oil or what? Help us with that.
Yep, I like a sustainable Malaysian palm oil. It's one of my favorites because it's got a red color, and that red color means it's got beta carotene and also tocotrienols. That's a type of vitamin E. Important for healthy skin, I know that's really important to me, and good health. It's also a high heat oil. That's important because certain oils, including olive oil, they actually break down if you cook at 400, 450 degrees. So chemically they break down and they're not as good for us afterward. So that's one of my favorite cooking oils.
Now, is that
beautiful, brilliant
this kind
red.
of oil, is it easy to find?
It is. It can be easy to find. Otherwise, you know, Asian supermarkets, but Kroger has it as well. Just look for the red color. That means nutrients. All those beautiful, brilliant colors in nature.
Talk to us about avocados, because I hear people talk, you know, when they talk about avocados, they're high in fat.
High.
But is it a good fat? Is it a bad fat?
It's a great fat. I'm glad you brought that up. So that's a monounsaturated fat. And the reason I have those is because foods high in monounsaturated fats, including nuts, that's another one. A recent study found that if you replace some of those carbohydrate-rich foods, which I love the breads and pretzels and crackers, but if you replace that with something like avocados, you can cut it and slice it, and you know that can be a snack with a teeny bit of sea salt. You'll have a smaller waistline, and it's heart healthy fat.
Cool. Now on the end down there, you have something that looks really good. Talk to us about what that is and how good that is for us. It looks really good, but is it good for us?
It's good for us. It's a cold pea salad. And it's interesting, certain vegetables, peas and potatoes, when you cook them and then put them in the refrigerator, it develops what's called resistant starch. And that's a type of fiber that our body doesn't fully digest, so it's great for weight management, and it keeps us full. That fiber slows digestion, so we're just not hungry later on. And that's peas. I've got a few smokehouse almonds on them, and water chestnuts, which is great for crunch, and a lower fat mayo with a little bit of curry. So just easy to make, just stirring, frozen
Wonderful.
peas.
Can we go online and find these recipes someplace?
Yeah, well, we'll find them on my website, or you can put them on your website.
Which
Either
is?
way, mariespano.com.
Very good. And then we have, is that couscous?
It is a couscous, and I cooked it with green tea, and it's interesting because
You cooked with the, that's really a good idea.
the reason I like to do that is because it adds some flavor without the sodium, if you're watching sodium, or without the calories. Studies show that you have to have several cups of green tea a day, but it is good for cardiovascular health, heart health, and it may help with weight management. So I just like to cook with it, add some flavor. You can buy the loose tea leaves, or you can buy tea in a bag.
Well, cool. Thank you for coming by Babbie's house today and helping us with nutrition, how to eat healthy, but how to eat food that tastes really good and it looks good. Oftentimes we think of, you know, diet like cottage cheese and
plain cottage cheese.
Yeah, stuff that's and my mother, her diet was cottage cheese and those little wafers, those little brown wafers. I can't remember the name of them, but just how dull is that? But this right here, you can maintain good health, good bone health, good muscle mass, and still eat food that looks good and tastes good. So thanks for coming by Babbie's house today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And thank you, my friend, for coming by Babbie's house. You know, here on Babbie's house, we want to help you with your spirit man, as well as your physical man, as well as to be happy in your heart. And that's what the Lord wants for you. So thanks for coming by Babbie's house. Listen, will you do me this favor? Reach out to me today at babbie.com. Let me know that you've seen the show. Well, I love the Word of God, and the Bible says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. Thanks again for watching the show. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye for now.